Subscribe to Urinating Tree. The man's a legend here on YouTube. I've been subscribed to him ever since 2016, and I have not regretted a single second of it, and neither will you. The man's a fucking legend, what can I say? So I haven't been uploading for a while now, and part of that is because I just haven't had a whole lot of time. What little free time I do have is spent running errands. In case you aren't aware, I work inside of a warehouse, and if any of you have been working in a warehouse, then you would know that the months of October, November, December, and January are absolute hell months. You work 60 hours a week, you barely even have much time to sleep, much less run a personal life, and it's just a horrible experience. And up until a couple weeks ago, I was working 12-hour shifts for 5 days a week, and I just never had any time to do much of anything other than sleep. Enough about my bitching. Today's video is going to be about Trump's second term agenda. Now, yes, this video probably should have came out a month or two sooner, but again, like I said, absolutely full plate with work, a personal life, and other personal issues that I've been dealing with ever since July. So, it's here now. Be happy that it happened, alright? Okay, here are his goals. President Trump, fighting for you. Jobs. Create 10 million new jobs in 10 months. Yeah, well, that's honestly not impressive considering Americans have lost more than 10 million jobs due to the pandemic. Great, get us back to step one. Create 1 million new small businesses. That's a lofty goal. I'd like to see how you do that instead of just saying it. Cut taxes to boost take-home pay and keep jobs in America. Yeah, ideally that may work, but then you realize that greedy asshats like, I don't know, the richest 10% of Americans hold about 76% of the wealth, so if you cut their taxes, all of the public infrastructure that's there for the people of the United States, yeah, that's all just gonna go. You don't want that. On paper it sounds great, but when you think about it, it's really not a good plan. Enact fair trade deals that protect American jobs. All for that. Made in America tax credits. Okay, so pretty much just give tax credits to people who keep jobs in America? Okay, I'm for that too. Expand opportunity zones. Okay, that is way too vague to just say. So, I can't say anything about that. Continue deregulatory agenda for energy independence. Aren't you the same guy that took a bribe from Saudi Arabia? Like, are you serious? Deregulatory agenda for energy independence. Yeah, if we were truly independent on energy, we wouldn't import or export any oil with Canada, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, or Europe. In fact, you're part of the reason why we're dependent on Saudi oil. That is just tone deaf. Eradicate COVID-19 goals. Develop a vaccine by the end of 2020. Well, considering Pfizer have produced a vaccine that's 94% effective, now it's just a matter of distributing it, which could take longer than a couple months. Return to normal in 2021. Yeah, that's a lofty goal, especially since your ass will be out of office. Make all critical medicines and supplies for healthcare workers in the United States. Alright, yeah, I can get behind that. Refill stockpiles and prepare for future pandemics. I'm also behind that, and I hope Biden does that. Because when it came to the pandemic, the vast majority of nations affected were first world, post-industrial nations. And it kind of proves beyond the shadow of a doubt that private organizations cannot accurately prepare for world-ending scenarios. So, yeah, taxes, They ain't irrelevant. They actually do shit. Who would have guessed? Refill stockpiles and prepare for future I already read that. End our reliance on China goals. Bring back 1 million manufacturing jobs from China. Well, that's a super lofty goal considering my job is at risk. And my job's pretty human oriented. Tax credits for the companies that bring back jobs from China. I can get behind that, but again, nobody's gonna bring jobs back from China unless you like give them severe tax cuts for that, which again infects public infrastructure negatively. Allow 100% expensing deductions for essential industries like pharmaceuticals and robotics who bring back their manufacturing to the United States. Yeah, the last industry you need to help is the pharmaceutical industry because they literally make money off the sick. It's one of the dirtiest business practices in the world. No federal contracts for companies who outsource to China. All right, you could get behind that, but I don't really understand how you would do that. Like, a lot of these goals sound good on paper, but since they're so vague and have no amount of detail towards how you'll get to that goal, it's just an empty words. Hold China fully accountable for allowing the virus to spread around the world. Okay, so like, give them full-on sanctions? Because I could totally get behind that, I just don't think you have the balls to do it. Not like it matters anyway, because your ass is out of office, motherfucker. Healthcare goals. Cut prescription drug prices. Oh, yeah, so you mean like universal healthcare? No? Well then fuck off. Put patients and doctors back in charge of our healthcare system. Again, that's pretty vague and empty. You're not going into any detail on how you plan to do that. So, cite your source. Source needed. Lower healthcare insurance premiums. Yeah, I'm all for that. The only issue is that health insurance companies will never get behind that. Fuckers are way too powerful, and remind me again who made them so powerful in the first place? Oh, right, the establishment. Fuck you, Hillary. Fuck you and your pus-infested ass. End surprise billing. All for it. Cover all pre-existing conditions. That shouldn't be a goal, that should just be our default position as a country. Protect Social Security and Medicare. It is protected. Protect our veterans and provide world-class healthcare and services. We already do. It's called the GI Bill. Education goals. Provide school choice to every child in America. Again, on paper that sounds good, but in execution, how do you plan on doing that, for one? And for two, let me let you in on a little secret here, Trump. Places like Wichita and bigger cities, it's filled with impoverished people that can barely afford a public education as is. If you offer school choice, charter schools, let's just be honest, that's what it fucking is. School choice is charter schools. It's like paying for college, except for primary and secondary education. You do not want that, Americans. And if you do, you are fucking insane or have way too much money to know what to do with. Teach American exceptionalism. Okay, so nationalism. I went to school in 2005, so by that point American exceptionalism was finally holding back, but even in kindergarten, we had it drilled into our fucking head. Every single state, its capital, the president, the vice president, and excuse me, the neighbors are being a little noisy upstairs. So yeah, the 50 states, all of their capitals, the president, the vice president, and the governor, who at the time would have been, um, Kansas governor from 2005. Kathleen Sebelius. Good times were had in kindergarten. Regardless, it's pretty much the idea that America's done nothing wrong, we are right, and everyone else is wrong. It's not a fun idea to teach kids that. Drain the swamp goals. Pass congressional term limits. Congress already has term limits. Two years for a representative, 6 years for a senator. The fuck? Oh, he means like the amount of times that you can run on your platform. Oh, okay. No! Okay. Either everyone gets a term limit or nobody gets a term limit. That's how I see it, okay? If your policies in your state are so popular that nobody can beat you, then why the hell should you have a term limit? Same idea goes for the state elections, for local elections, and even for national or federal elections. If you have a popular policy that is so successful nobody can beat you, then you should stay in office until somebody can beat you. It's that simple. Anything else is a blatant slap in the face and a telling of the American people that we don't trust your vote. No, all right? If I believe that, let's name a fucking conservative right off the plate here, that Roger Marshall has policies that will help the state of Kansas recover for decades to come, then I should be able to vote for him every single election cycle. Now, to be fair, I think that Roger Marshall is a fucking retard, but that is a conversation for another day. End bureaucratic government bullying of U.S. citizens and small business. Bitch, you are bureaucratic government bullying of citizens and small businesses. Remember when you mocked that one journalist for being disabled? No, I don't know what I did, and I don't remember! Life comes at you fast. Expose Washington's money trail and delegate powers back to people and states. No. Drain the globalist swamp by taking on international organizations that hurt American citizens. Example needed. Defund the police. Wait, what? Oh, defend our police. My bad. Fully fund and hire more police and law enforcement officers. Oh, great. So an even more egregious form of the 1994 Tough on Crime bill? No, thank you. Increase criminal penalties for assaults on law enforcement officers. No, how about accountability for law enforcement officers? You should not see police officers getting paid vacations for murdering their fellow citizen. That's ridiculous. Prosecute drive-by shootings as acts of domestic terrorism. No, that's gang-related violence. Bring violent extremist groups like Antifa to justice. You know, I agree with bringing violent extremist groups to justice, but Antifa isn't a terrorist group. You'd have been better off putting MS-13, because, you know, they're an actual terrorist group. Anyways, end cashless bail and keep dangerous criminals locked up until trial. No, you are innocent until proven otherwise. cashless bail should... I agree that cashless bail should only be for non-violent offenses, but no. In every single case, the assumption of innocence must be there. You are innocent until proven otherwise in a court of law. Deal with it. End illegal immigration and protect American workers' goals. Block illegal immigrants from becoming eligible for taxpayer-funded welfare, health care, and free college tuition. Okay, so... Death for the brown man, got it. Mandatory deportation for non-citizen gang members. I can get behind that, assuming you can prove that they're a gang member. Dismantle human trafficking networks. Yeah, I can get behind that, it's just that you do it incorrectly. End sanctuary cities to restore our neighborhoods and protect our families. Death to the brown man. Prohibit American companies from replacing United States citizens with lower-cost foreign workers. Again, I can get behind that, but you have to, show exactly how you're gonna do these things. Otherwise, it's just empty words. Require new immigrants to be able to support themselves financially. You know, the vast majority of immigrants come here to do just that, right? They come here for economic opportunities. Just food for thought here. Innovate for the future goals. Launch Space Force, establish permanent manned presence on the moon, and send the first manned mission to Mars. You know, space should be a scientific endeavor, not a militarized one. Just food for thought. Build the world's greatest infrastructure system. Well, considering you fired the last 3 people that have tried to meet that goal, I'm going to say that that goal was a failure the first time. Why should I trust you a second time? Win the race to 5G and establish a national high-speed wireless internet network. We already have that. Continue to lead the world in access to the cleanest drinking water and cleanest air. Yeah, good luck with that. Especially since you're one of those guys that'll take bribes from the establishment so they can continue dumping in rivers. Look at New York, for example. That place is absolutely wonderful for businesses and economies, but horrible for the environment. You want to know why? Because scumbags like you pay off politicians to look the other way while you pollute water, the air quality, and whatever the fuck else. Go fuck yourself, Trump. Partner with other nations to clean up our planet's oceans. I can get behind that, but again, how exactly do you plan on doing that? You need to show exactly what your plan is, otherwise it's just empty words. Half of the fucking list is just empty words, for God's sakes. Foreign policy. Stop endless wars and bring our troops home. That's a great goal, but the problem is you immediately contradict that with these next 4 goals. Get allies to pay their fair share. Okay, what he's talking about here is NATO countries requiring a 2% or more contribution of their GDP to their military in order to prevent another Iron Curtain in the future. The issue with this is that neighbors again, sorry. The issue with that is that there is really no other way to ensure other countries are paying their fair share, per se. I'm not sure how people are supposed to take this as anything other than jealousy, because the United States has the strongest military in the world. If we used 1/10 of our GDP as budget to NATO, we would meet every other nation's combined goals. It's not a big deal. Maintain and expand America's unrivaled military strength. Seriously? We already spend way too much on the military. You want to expand that? Talk about being a military-industrial complex shill. Wipe out global terrorists who threaten to harm Americans. See, you just said that you were going to stop endless wars and bring our troops home. How exactly are you going to bring the troops home if you're going to have them invade countries that Americans have never heard of before? That's a blatant contradiction to what the fuck you just said. Build a great cybersecurity defense system and missile defense system. We already have those. Are you fucking serious? Defend American values goals. Continue nominating constitutionalist Supreme Court and lower court judges. Well, you already did that, so mission accomplished. Protect unborn life through every means available. Blatant violation of the 14th Amendment. Gotcha. Defend the freedoms of religious believers and organizations. Yeah, ideally that sounds great, but what you mean is Christianize all the states. There is no official religion of the United States, and it's meant to stay that way. Support the free exercise of Second Amendment rights. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that was every single goal that number 45 has laid out for his second campaign. The issue is that he lost the public, he lost the second election, so all these campaign promises are void. If I can find them, I'll do the same thing for Joe Biden, see if I can pick his policies apart, because the vast majority of Trump's campaign promises boil down to it's vague and empty, or that is fundamentally unconstitutional, what the fuck are you thinking? If you enjoy these type of videos, be sure to like and comment. And if you really enjoyed this, I plan to get my upload times back to normal. So, expect a whole volley of new videos. My name's Trey McGathan, and I'll be seeing you soon.